Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Thursday night mini healing. I am Summer Evelyn, and tonight's really going to be a good night. So I hope you have had a good day, and we'll do a couple things tonight, and I hope that makes an even better day, an even better end of the day for you. At about 10 minutes after, we will start the healing pulses. So I'm going to put that on my little banner thing. I should have done this earlier, but oh well. So if you're watching and want to say hello, feel free while I just change the little banner thing. There it is. So tonight we're going to focus on releasing trapped negative emotions, reinforcing positive emotions, which is my favorite. Let's see, did it work? It worked. Yay. Hopefully no technical difficulties for tonight. There's Marina. Welcome, Marina. How are you doing? Oh, and there's Sabrina. That's a new name. So welcome, Sabrina. We will start with the healing in about 3 minutes. And then that's a group healing pulse. And then we will move on to some individual healing. But we'll alternate between releasing and removing negative and then reinforcing positive while also sprinkling in some energy work amongst it. I'm a bit sleepy too, so I'm sort of videoed out because I've been doing that training that I talked about last week. So once we get going, I'll talk a little bit more about that. But yeah, I didn't think I could ever be too videoed out because I'm sort of a professional watching YouTube. So what state are you in, Sabrina, or are you in a different country? It's like Marina, she's in Croatia, so it is the middle of the night for her over there. And I'm in the US, so yeah, and it's still sunny out here. So that's very nice. Oh, and there's Mary. Welcome, Mary. Oh, me too. So what else? Oh, so let me get my little book out. Would you believe tonight is, let me see, show number 98. Oh, and there is Anne Marie. Welcome, Anne Marie. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, 98 shows. And I did say I'm going to do something special at 100 shows, but I don't know what that is. So if anyone has any suggestions, let me know. Can't believe May 5th already. And where I'm at, I don't have really hardly any green grass because it's been so cold and wet, and add more cold to it. But anyways, I'm such a weather whiner. What else? So I'm trying to think. So Sunday night we did a group, and that was really interesting. We had maybe 10 people there. And Sunday night we focused on inherited or generational trapped emotions that were negative. Let me see, and looking at it, sort of interesting. Most of the issues were from many generations back. So let's see, most of them were like 4, 5, 6, even 7 generations back, and we only had one that was 2 generations back. So everything else was, pretty distant ancestors. And there is Joan. Welcome, Joan. Hope you are doing well. Ooh, it's 7:11. I'm late for starting the mini healings. So let's go ahead and do that. So the wonderful thing about the healing pulse is the energy goes exactly where you direct the energy to. Basically, I want you to think about, like, physically, is there somewhere that you could really use some healing? Or if it's emotionally, or if you're anxious, think about where you're feeling that emotion, or where do you feel it when you're anxious, because that's where you'll want to direct the energy. And there's Victoria, perfect timing. So I want you to rub your hands together until they're warm. Place your hands exactly where you want to receive the energy. Imagine my hands on yours. And then the most important thing is just be open and allowing the energy to flow. And so I want you to breathe in that energy and just allow it to flow. Imagine with each breath in, the energy goes a little deeper, a little further. With each breath out, you're releasing things that don't belong, things that you just want to release, things that don't serve your highest good. So just again, open and allowing the energy to flow. Okay, that was our first healing pulse of the night. Let me know how you did. We will be doing another 2 or 3 healing pulses tonight. So I've got my book. So tonight we're going to work on individual healing. Is that a good thing, Anne-Marie? Is it a healing thing? Anne-Marie says she's got many thoughts about her family these days. And Mother's Day is coming up too, so I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But yes. So tonight we're going to work on individual issues. So if you have anything going on, physically, or if you are working on strengthening certain values, certain behaviors, or if you want to eliminate certain behaviors that are not very positive, that would be something that you would note. You guys are pretty quiet tonight. Although, every once in a while, when you get this quiet, usually it's because there's technical issues and you can't hear me. You guys aren't usually very shy. And I'm not muted. And it does say the camera's clock down is still there. Oh, good. Maybe you guys are just doing so good you just show up to say hello and see me. There we go. Nice. Okay, so Joan wants to work on letting attachments go, among other things. I think that's a great one, Joan. Okay, so let's see what comes up. So I've got my list here. So I've got about 400 different negative emotions, and then I'll also get an age for when this event or occurrence happened. All right, Victoria, so I will add that. I hope you don't have another story. Because that doesn't sound good. All right, Anne Marie. Detachment. I think that sometimes can be a great thing. All right, so let's see what comes up for Joan on letting go. And it is a time when you were troubled. Let's see what age. 19, Joan. So let's go ahead and release that. So that's been released. And the voids have been filled. Okay, so Marina wants to work on getting a job. So we could also work on interviewing too, Marina, if there's something in there that you think that would be better. Because if you can get interviews, maybe there's something in the interview process that's creating a bump. Let me know. Mary has a bump on her thumb joint. Do you guys ever watch that Dr. Pimple Popper? She deals with a lot of bumps, and sometimes I have to turn it off. It's gross. But sometimes it's life-changing. So thumb joint. All right, so Sabrina's working on patience. You know, for me, patience can be a four-letter word. It's not something I really appreciate. And there's Jane, wonderful. All right, so Marina, I'm going to put that you're going to work on interviewing. Welcome, Angie. I'm just writing my list of what people want to work on tonight. All right, so Victoria wants to work on not being easily manipulated. There's just a lot of icky, scammy people that seem to find us at the wrong time. So we need to help protect Victoria from that. So send her some good energy about that too. All right, so let's see. Mixed up. Let's see what age that was at, Victoria. Good, Victoria. I'm glad you're getting stronger with that. Around age 26, something happened, and I don't know if you were mixed up or if the situation was sort of mixed up, but somehow it's playing a role in that energy. So that's been released. All right, Anne Marie wants to work on detachment. So let's see what can help her with that. Inadequate. Let me get an age for that. All right, so inadequate for Anne Marie. Let me get an age on that. "43, Anne Marie. I don't know if that rings a bell, but let's get rid of that. Okay, and Jane has a scratchy throat. And she's a little worried about things. Okay, Marina wants to work on interviewing great. So afterwards she'll get a job offer, especially if it's the right job. Unhappy. All right, so let's see about when that event was. Around age 17, Marina, so let's release that. Hopefully that makes it a little harder for anyone to manipulate you, Victoria. All right, Mary. So Mary's got a bump on her thumb joint. So let's see. Anne Marie says that rings a bell, so that's good too. So hopefully that'll make it easier to be detached. All right, and so Mary, let's see. So with Mary, because it's such a physical thing and it's maybe not all that common, you're welcome, Marina. I'm going to just check and see if there is an emotional component adding to that bump in your thumb, and I do get a yes. So let's see what it is. Inconsistent. All right, so let's get an age. 28, Mary. So we're going to release that. So that did release. And the voids have been filled. Sabrina wants to work on increased patience, especially when working with her little one. Sometimes a big challenge, I'm sure. Misunderstood. So I'm getting that this is playing a role in having less patience. So let me get an age on this for you, Sabrina. "17, Sabrina. So ages are usually the hardest thing for me to determine. Usually I'm within a year though, so I'm thinking it's probably somewhere 16, 17, 18, somewhere in there where there was some type of event or something going on that you felt really misunderstood and you hung on to that energy. And wherever that energy hung on, that part of your body doesn't function as well. And also it has emotional repercussions, and so I am getting that plays a role and you're not having as much patience. So let's go ahead and release this. Good, Mary. I'm glad that that made sense to you. Nice, Victoria. So I'm glad that that makes a difference too. So Jane, working on a scratchy throat. If anyone else has anything they need to work on, I know Angie has come in, or if you're just observing, that's fine too. I know some people just show up for the healing pulses, and that is great. Shot down, Jane. I think that's the first time that one's come up for anyone. Just an interesting way to put something. Shot down. Oh, and there's Leslie. Welcome, Leslie. Let me get an age for you, Jane. 16, Jane. So let's release that. All right, so Angie got neck, shoulder, and jaw pain. All right, so Angie, you definitely have some places you can send that healing pulse energy. Yes, very interesting, Jane, that terminology there. All right, so I've got Angie and then Leslie, nasal, and then scratchy throat. So when we get done with Angie and Leslie, then we will be doing our next healing pulse. So think about if you want to receive it somewhere different or where you want to receive it. Let's see for Angie. Angie, it's the word mocked. Let's get an age on that. 26, Angie. So let's go ahead and release that. All right, Leslie, you were next. Let's see. Do you hear that? That's Duncan. He's dreaming and sort of growling, purring almost. He's laying across my lap. So he's quite the little dreamer sometimes. Melancholy. Leslie, let's get an age on that. I do think, Joni, you are exactly where you're meant to be. All right, so melancholy around age 26 also. So as I said, ages are harder, so usually I do plus or minus a year. So somewhere 25, 26, 27 in there for you, Leslie. So let's release that. Yeah, it was sort of weird. He's my little dog dreamer. So here's my little commercial. I finished my hypnosis training. So this is what I did. Dolores Cannon Quantum Healing Hypnosis Technique, QHHT. So I finished level 1. I have already done my first session. But since the training, much of the training was 10 years old or more, and it just felt really stagnant. And there were some limitations with the program that I'm not really happy with. So I am taking another one. So here's the other one I'm doing. It's called Beyond Quantum Healing. And this one I really, the other one was good and it had good material, but the training sort of sucked. This one, it's got new material, fresh material, and I really like how they say this is, you need to take the information and use it how you feel you need to use it. And so I'm going to probably combine a bunch of things and really make it my own. And I think the healing will be even more fabulous, because with these tools, it's not just about past life regression, but it's connecting with either the higher self or the subconscious and asking questions. And that's the heart of the regression, not looking at the past lives, but talking to that subconscious soul and getting feedback and understanding and creating changes and healing through that connection. So it's pretty amazing, everything I've learned, and I'm starting to do sessions now. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. But as I've said, I've started scheduling a few sessions, but doing it sort of slowly, just with people that I know, so that as I'm learning and practicing, it is an easy transition, because I do think that probably a lot of my practice will transition to this, just because it's such a powerful tool. And I'll probably do a lot less sessions with people, but it'll be a lot more intense and really life-changing. So that is very exciting. So we will see how things go. So let's do our next healing pulse. So with this, we're going to send the energy exactly where you want to receive it. So rub your hands together, place your hands where you want to receive the energy. So if it's somewhere physical, that's an easy thing. So like Leslie, Angie, you know exactly where you're going to send that energy. And so once your hands are warm, place it exactly where you're going to receive it. If you don't really have a place that you know you want to receive the energy, I suggest sending it to your head or your heart. And once your hands are placed, imagine my hands on yours, and then just be open and allowing the healing to happen. Just breathe that energy in. Okay, so that was healing pulse number 2. So with this, with 11 people, I want to do some group pulling for negative beliefs, and then we'll do individual positive emotions. Just because we don't have quite enough time to do everybody for the negative beliefs and the positive. So I'll do everybody that has said something on my list. You are part of the group, and then actually anyone who's watching, because I'll do a percent, and the universe will pretty much give me a percent that pertains to whatever I pull. And then when we get to the positive emotions, I'm going to have everyone who wants me to do that say yes in a moment. So, but let's do the negative beliefs first, just because I think this can be helpful. So let's see how many I'm doing. So I'm doing 4 negative beliefs. I am unwelcome. Let's see how many of you have this. 75% of you have this. So what this means is similar to like a negative emotion, where, well, more than half of you had some type of event in your life that made you feel unwelcome, and that energy has stuck with you. And so we're releasing that energy to free you up a bit. So let's see, we've got 3 more to find. I am alone. Let's see how many have that. 60% of you have that, so just over half. All right, let's see what the next one is. I am helpless. Let's see how many have this. %80 have this. Okay, we got one more. Let's see what that is. I don't fit in anywhere. Let's see what percent have that. %55%, so just over half have that. Just looking to see, because some of these seem a little familiar. So a couple weeks ago we had I don't fit in anywhere. So let's get rid of I am unwelcome. And so with these, so I know some of you guys who have been with me since the beginning, you know about muscle testing. And lately you know that we've been doing more work with pendulums. So if you don't muscle test, this would be a time to get out your pendulum and say, is I'm unwelcome, is that one of my negative beliefs? And then you'll get your yes, no. Or I'm alone. And this is a negative I'm alone, because sometimes being alone is not a negative thing. But you'll get your yes, no's. And at some point, as more new people come in, if you would want me to give you a little muscle testing tutorial, which will take me a couple minutes, I can do in the coming weeks. So, but you just need to let me know. All right, so I just released I am alone, releasing I am helpless. All right, and I don't fit in anywhere, releasing that. So that released. Yeah, that might be something, because with the muscle testing, if your neck is misaligned, if you're dehydrated, or who knows why. So that's why it's always good to do that check-in. Otherwise, you know, if you've got your little pendulum, you know, and just check and see what you get with that. All right, so let's do, what time is it? 7:39. So if you would want to do the positive emotions, if you would put a yes in the comments, that would be fabulous. And then we will start from there. And Anne-Marie's got a yes, but I'm not sure if she was chatting with Joan, so. All right, so we got Leslie, Joan. Welcome, Joanne, just in time for a positive emotion. Mary. And Marie, I'm going to add you to the list just because I think that yes was for something else. There you, but you confirmed it. Yes. Okay. So keep saying yes if you want a positive emotion while I get started on that. So somebody had a new one. Like, oh, we did a thing on Sunday night. So what was, we had flowing. That was a new one that hadn't come up for people before. That was sort of a good one. Angie. Oh, and for those of you who Thursday nights don't always work, I will not be doing a second live this week. I'm going to spend some time with my family. I don't see them very often at all, so I'm sort of excited. So yeah, I haven't seen them probably since, gosh, February. Or was it March? It's been a while. Okay, so I'm looking for positive. Here we go. Very observant of you, Jane. All right, so let's see. So let me muscle test for Jane, just her quick. All right, so Jane, so we can do yes, no, but sometimes it's better to do things with percents. All right, so I'm going to look for a percent of your statement, I'm not speaking my truth. That's mostly true, because it is, so that's a big reason why you're scratchy throat, because I'm getting like 80%. So very observant of you. Thank you, Leslie. That is exciting to see my family. It is going to be crazy time because I have 2 dogs. My sister has 2 dogs, plus she just got this huge puppy, and then my parents have a dog. So, and the last time I was visiting my sister, my little dogs took off down a major highway, running down the middle of the road together, having the best time. Traffic backed up for like a half a mile each way because it was Sunday traffic, craziness. And luckily everyone stopped and I was able to grab them, but they were so naughty and so bad. And we had been there a number of times before and they were just really good because my sister lives like a quarter of a mile down this little dirt road, but it's off a major highway, and they took off out of the yard. And of course, they could have gone so many other ways, but instead they go for the highway. And then when they get to the highway, they could have gone across the highway, but no, they go onto the highway. So it was so scary. And yeah, it's going to be a little stressful visiting my family because my dogs are they're just wild. So, and with 2 of them, it's so much harder. So, anyways, we're going to focus on positive things. So, Leslie, let's see what positive emotion you get. Ooh, thankful, Leslie. That's a nice one. So let's reinforce that for you. So thankful's reinforced for Leslie. And Joan, you are next. If anyone else wants a positive emotion, just put yes in the comments. So right now I've got Leslie, Joan, Joanne, Mary, Anne Marie, and Angie. Okay, so Joan gets trust. That's a good one. Okay, Joanne. Oh, and there's Marina. I didn't get Marina on there. So Marina, adding you. Okay, Joanne. Sensitive. And so this is a positive thing. So let's reinforce that. Is that reinforced? Okay, Mary, you are next. Mary, you get united. All right, so reinforcing that. Anne Marie, let's see what you get. Rooted. That sounds nice on this spring day. Reinforcing rooted. All right, Anne Marie. All right, Angie's next. Valued. Oh, that's a nice one. So let's reinforce that. Okay, Marina. Satisfied. Ooh, I think that's a good one for you, Marina. So let's reinforce that. Rooted. I think that more like being grounded. Anyone else have a thought on that? If you're rooted, down to earth, maybe? It's not a very common term. Yes, Marina, I think that's a very nice one. Let's see what the dictionary says. Or maybe it'll give me just some plant things. Let's see. Okay. Haven't taken root, firmly implanted, fixed in the heart, fixed in one position. But you know, like the New Age meaning of rooted is much different than that. So I hope that's helpful. Nice. Does this mean you guys are just gonna borrow some of the other ones? So it's 7:48. So we had done a little early with my regular things, but where's my book? I've got books everywhere. So this is the one I'm reading right now, Life Between Lives, Hypnotherapy for Spiritual Regression. And I've got a whole bunch of other books going because as much as I like my Kindle, I like real books for nonfiction. So this, I think another time I've done this, where if you have a certain issue, I will look up the spiritual meaning. For instance, in the hypnotherapy, the healing section, they talked about the spiritual meaning for certain things. And so they talked about cancer. And they said for cancer, the overall spiritual meaning for cancer is suppressed anger. And then depending on where the cancer was, then it's got an even further meaning. But so very interesting. So does anyone have anything they want me to look up? So like, for instance, lately I've been having some headaches. So let's see what that says. Here we go. So here's a spiritual meaning for headaches. Stress, tiredness, seriousness, too much going on, feeling out of control, overwhelmed, overcrowded, frustrated, undermined, self-criticism, self-sabotage, invalidation of self, judgment of self and others, too much thinking and analysis. You know, that's sort of been my life lately. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so Joan, I'm not sure if it's that specific about location. So let's see. No, because it's got more list of ailments, like why do you have certain things? So, and it doesn't, so this part of the book, I have another book that is somewhere probably in the bottom of a box. that you can look up the reason, the location, and then it'll tell you oftentimes why there's something going on with that. But for this, it's list of ailments. So let's see. So like, so I'm just going to look through. Like it doesn't, and it doesn't have like brain fog. And diabetes, so diabetes, which I have type 2 diabetes, no matter what I do, it seems like. But part of it is I am not working as hard on getting rid of the spiritual reason for my diabetes as I am the physical reason. And so I think spiritually, if I was as gung-ho about clearing that up, I might be making more headway. But so here's what the book says about diabetes. I'm assuming type 2, Mary? So type 2, fear of fully participating in life, great need for control to know things, deep need for attention and approval, constant craving for love paired with a belief that you are unworthy or undeserving, deep-seated guilt, belief that you have to struggle to survive, often losing yourself in relationships, constant need for sweetness to mask the feelings of weakness, limitation, and belief that there is not enough, stuck in your own world of limitation and lack. And typically with this, when you look at just really short versions, it's lacking joy and sweetness of life. So let's see. So Angie, I know arthritis is in here, so let's see what that says. Arthritis. Holding on to anger and resentment from the past, carrying guilt, remorse, shame, difficulty forgiving yourself and others, complaining about life, worrying about not wanting to make changes, feeling stuck and limited. All right, so let's see, Leslie, let's see if there's, I know there's not nasal polyps, but let's see if there's polyps. No, that's not in here. All right, so let's see. Victoria, it doesn't have back of legs, and it doesn't have brain fog. Let's see, hernia. Yeah, so I think a lot of this book is good, but some of it's pretty generic. So here is, let me just see, hernia. Abusive relationships, controlled, taken advantage of, manipulated, exploited, feeling stuck in a rut and that things are hopeless, negative attitude, guilt, anger, feeling burdened by life, frequent self-sabotage, blocking your creative expression. See, most of these seem to have a lot of variations. So you could have one, you could have all of them. And so part of it is, being self-aware and recognizing yourself in some of these and really trying to make changes. So yes, I have that book too. So that book is hidden with my Wendy Nelson book, which is the ultimate book on definitions. I like Louise Hay's book, but it's really simplistic. So let's see if I missed anybody else. Oh, Emery Depression. Let's look that one up. I would think that would be in here. Okay, it's got depression and then it's got post-nasal or natal depression. It's like, huh. So I'm going to read both of them and you can see. So just the regular depression says pressure to survive, feeling overwhelmed, hopeless, disappointed, and disillusioned, wanting someone to save you, suppressed anger and resentment, feeling and acting like a victim, blaming others for what is not working in your life, feeling unmotivated and uninspired, can't be bothered to do anything, stuck in an old story that's only getting gloomier. So this one is the postnatal depression, feeling of separation, abandonment, and emptiness, difficulty coping with extra responsibilities, overwhelmed, isolated, lonely, sad, not feeling good enough, lack of trust and belief in your capacities, buying into self-destructive thoughts. So I would think this is postnatal, but that sounds like more postpartum when I read that. So let's see. All right, so Marina, let's see about knees. Or maybe it's more circulation, Marina. Nope, there's only a few things under K's even. Keratitis, kidney problems, kidney stones, and kleptomania. There's a spiritual reason for kleptomania. All right, so let's try circulation. So here's a question though too, because Mary said you had a bump. So if that is a cyst, that has a spiritual reason, Mary. And cyst is unfulfilled dreams, holding on to regrets which prevent you from moving forward, fear of being hurt and taken advantage of, holding on to disappointments and failures from the past, buying into fears and false ideas, allowing doubts and limitations to dominate your life. Okay, so let's check circulation. Here we go. Circulation problems. Feeling stuck, restricted, held back, like you've been going round and round in circles with no change, allowing others to make important decisions and then blaming them when things go wrong. Fear of taking risks, doing things the way you were taught rather than trying new things. Alright, so kidney stones, let's see about that. And then I think we will do our aura strengthening. Kidney stones. Hardness, negativity, inferiority, paralyzed with fear, wanting things your own way. Regrets, rigidity, inflexibility, stubbornness. Looking at life from a negative perspective. Living in the past. Carrying painful memories, unable to trust. Shame, disappointment, failure, feeling like you have been beaten up. So that was kidney stones. There is also kidney problems. Oh gosh. I'm not sure, Wendy, because it was my favorite book. It's like 3 inches long or wide. And I really liked it. Let's see. So I'm going to say Wendy Nelson, author. Of course it doesn't come up. I'll have to look into that, Angie, and I can get back to you. But I really have enjoyed that book. I am also getting another one in the mail by Julia Cannon, Dolores Cannon's daughter, who is part of the hypnosis course that I took. She wrote this book called Soul Speaks, because that's part of the training, is looking at spiritual reasons for things and then working with the subconscious about changes and releasing. So, but the one I was just using, Secret Language of Your Body by Ina Siegel. So, and as I said, the Louise Hay it's a really thin little book, but it's really sort of easy to, well, you know what? There's another section here. Let me look and see. Let's see. You know what? This book, so it's got an area where things aren't alphabetical, but then it's got nose next to esophagus and nervous system. That's so weird that esophagus is next to nose. But so nose issues, especially if Leslie is still here, nose issues, it says possible contributing factors: looking for love and attention, not listening to intuition, feeling unnoticed, invisible, unimportant, unworthy, feeling tired, run down, overwhelmed, propensity to interfere in other people's affairs, being nosy, gossipy, judgmental, and hurtful. Oh, there is Denise. Welcome, Denise. If I could figure out how the body part area is organized, let me look at the index, because the issue area is all in alphabetical order. So let's see. Okay. Oh, this is sort of funny how this is set up differently. It even has a butt area if your butt has problems. Okay, so let's see. No, some of those don't apply, but focus on the ones that do and see if you can change things around. So I'm going to just go back up and see. For those of you who had, so like, so because Victoria had legs, they have nose, you'd think that they would have legs. Ooh, here's sinuses, Leslie. Possible contributing factors: feeling irritated, frustrated with other people, in need of your own space, difficulty standing up for yourself and saying what you believe, feeling pulled in different directions, too much going on, causing you to feel torn, exhausted, worn out, thinking too much rather than feeling or tuning into your own divine wisdom. Lungs, liver. Ooh, there is a leg. Victoria, is it one or there's different ones for right or left leg, but the overall grouping is feeling of overwhelmed by the pressure, strain, and demands of your life, frightened by perceived obstacles, carrying a heavy load of unresolved issues from the past that weigh you down, feeling unsupported, buying into self-doubt and security. So that's legs. All right, let me see if I can find one for like brain fog or brain. All right, so here's brain. Neglecting your body's computer by downloading mental viruses in the form of negative thoughts, worries, and stresses. Feeling out of control, depressed, bored, flat, disinterested, disheartened, and sleepy. Feeling like your mind is hazy, scattered, conflict, or confused. So focus on the ones that you've got and then work on eliminating them. Very interesting though, right? They say there's a spiritual reason for so many things. I'm just seeing if I missed anything as far as okay, so Victoria said both. So very interesting. So we might have to do this again once I figure out how this book is organized, because some of it is not alphabetical. But very interesting. So let's do our last healing pulse of the night. And if you want to use this healing pulse for the aura strengthening, that is great. Or if you want to work with your own personal energies, that is great too. If you have not done this before, basically we're sending energy to your aura to strengthen it, and a stronger aura helps repel negativity, which, as you know, in this day and age is really important. So if you are going to use the healing pulse energies, basically you just put it in your head that you want to draw in the energies. Otherwise, you just need to activate your own energies and send the energy to your aura. If you're going to use the healing pulse energy, imagine my hands on yours. And just imagine that your aura all the way around you is getting thicker and stronger and wider. Just breathe that in and breathe that out. Okay. So how's your aura doing? Stronger? I'm hoping it is. Because as you go out and about, sometimes you just feel things, and it would be nice if you didn't feel especially negative things as strongly. So is everybody doing good? Wonderful, Victoria. Some interesting things that came up tonight, though, right? Let me think. What was my favorite one? We had some really good ones tonight. So think about it. We've got thankful, trust, sensitive, united, rooted, valued, and satisfied. Those are pretty nice. You are very welcome, Denise. Glad you could make it. So I will be here next Thursday, and then after next week, I might start adding a second night for the live shows, but not this week. So I'm going to take a week off of that. You are very welcome, Mary. Thank you so much. Thank you, Joanne. Thank you, Emery. Leslie, I'm so glad you were able to make it, because I know your Thursday nights are usually so busy. So I hope everyone has a fabulous rest of your Thursday, and I hope to see you all next week. So have a good night. Good night, Marina. Good luck on your interviews. You're going to land the most important one, and just know it. You're welcome, Jane.